Well, how you doing, everybody? Dave Fennoy here again. Another Wednesday, another Ask Dave Fennoy Anything. And, Wednesday is hump day. And early on, I was trying to figure out a way to work hump day into, but it just didn't. But, I always feel a little bit better, but a little bit, okay, I've got an interview to do today. Let me get ready for that. But doesn't it feel good when you get through Wednesday and you know it's just Thursday and Friday, we got another weekend? Except those of us who do voiceover, a lot of times we feel like, well, I can't wait for Monday to show up so I can get back to work because we love it so much. Well, sometimes. Anyway, if you are interested in voiceover training with me, davefennoy.com, click on the Study VO tab. My Twitter has changed because somebody stole my account. So now instead of at Dave Fennoy, it's at Dave Fennoy VO. And all the Ask Dave Fennoy Anythings live on my YouTube channel, Dave Fennoy Voiceover Training. Well, let's get right to it. I have got a guest, and we've met a few times at conferences, and she's always been a ball of energy and fun and seems to know everybody. So let's say hello to all of our friend, Jen Greenfield.
Hello,
Ms.
everybody.
Greenfield, Jen, how are you?
In the house. I'm fantastic.
Fantastic. Now, where are you coming to us from?
Well, a matter of fact, I am coming to you live from the Lori Allen of SpongeBob SquarePants, her guest room.
Oh, there you go. And that's what I mean about what a wonderful networker you are. You seem to be acquainted with everybody, friends with everybody. It seemed, Lori Allen's a really good friend of mine. And so good to know you're a good friend of hers as well.
Yes, she is not only a mentor and a coach, but she has become a very dear friend. And the reason I'm here, actually, Dave, is I am having her direct my animation demo.
Dun, 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 dun. Congratulations.
Getting it done.
I can't think of anyone better to do it. She's
Gonna be a good time.
She's done a couple of animation projects,
A few. I'm kind of throwing her a bone. I'm throwing her a bone. I don't want her to feel bad.
I had Lori on a number of months, maybe even a year ago. I don't remember exactly how long ago it was. But she, like you, is a ball of energy and so many great tips for people. And we talked about her studio, which we will do with you as well. And I've been to her house, so I know. People think you have to have a huge studio that's been thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Hers is in a tiny little closet with her little microphone, little computer, and whatnot. So
yep,
it's nice to have a big studio, but you can make this work. You can make this work. So now,
absolutely.
We were doing a little pre-interview there, and I thought when I asked the question, so how long have you been doing this? I was going to get, 10, 12 years. You've been doing voiceover for how long?
Just over 2 years.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So let's talk about your very short VO journey from newbie knocking on the door to the door opening. What was your path? Who did you work with? What is it about you that you were able to get this together so fast?
So I was born a natural character. Let's just start there. No, I mean, I was cast in my first opera at age 7. I went to college on a full ride scholarship for musical theater. So I've had classical training, I've done singing, dancing, all of it. And as I was performing pretty regularly when we lived in the Northeast, and then when we moved to Texas, the pandemic hit. And like so many, and I've never denied it, I've always been very transparent, but like many, I was like, I need to shift. Pivot was the word, right? And actually, what's really interesting, I knew Carrie Olson. So you talk about my networking abilities. So Carrie Olson, who is an established voice actor,
Yes,
her husband and my brother used to be best friends. And so I knew Derek, and then I knew I knew Carrie, so I hopped on a call with her and said, kind of tell me what are you thinking about the voiceover thing? And then another friend of mine, Katie Bolding in Berlin actually, and I called her and asked her like her experience and if she thought I'd enjoy it. And she said, Jen, you're gonna hate it. I was like, what do you mean I'm gonna hate voiceover? She goes, there's no spotlights, there's no stage, there's no choreography. She was like, this is not gonna happen. And I was like, no, I could do this. So I did not have formal voiceover training at first. I do admit that. But I am a researcher. I am an entrepreneur. I am somebody who really does my research and really goes into things prepared. And I can honestly say I bought my microphone, got the dog, did everything, got my interface, and got my first paid gig in 2 weeks after auditioning. So, and then I was like, oh, okay, I like this. And I'll be honest, I am again just somebody who I didn't do the pay to plays, the online casting. I was direct marketing because, again, I have a strong retail sales background. And I also just have a really great network of family and friends and was getting really awesome jobs by referral. And so that's just kind of, and it's just kind of
Now,
accelerated from
let,
there.
let, let, let's talk about that network of friends and family. I don't care what business you're in. Networking is important. It's not about this company, this company. It's this person, this person, this person. Uh, you grew up an army brat, so you
Yep.
have lived all over the world,
Yep.
and you married army or
Air
military,
Force.
Air
Yeah.
Force.
Married Air
Which,
Force. Yep.
if you're going to be in the military, Air Force is where you ought to be. They get the best food and the best everything.
Always.
Back when I was a musician, I went on tour a few times and some USO tours, and you'd get to go around and see the bases. And uh, Army was okay. I didn't like being on the ships in the Navy unless I was on the Nimitz playing a show
Yeah.
there. They don't rock, so it was okay. But on the destroyers and they're rocking, you're getting seasick. But when we went to the Air Force bases, everything was cool. Everybody was relaxed. The food, they
Yep.
had the most booze. It was amazingly wonderful. So if anybody's thinking of joining the military, Air Force is the way to go.
The way to go. Yep. The Navy guys get deployed the most. The Army guys are sleeping in tents, and the Air Force guys just get to fly above it all.
There
So
you go.
that's
So
how it works.
so you have a worldwide network of people that you have grown up with, went to school with, and who are some of these people that were able to hook you up with jobs?
Well, let me tell you, a very dear friend of mine, actually, this was completely unexpected because I encourage people not to always just be selling that you're a voice actor like on Facebook because it's kind of I liken it to when you sell Mary Kay, people know. They're like, we got it. You don't need to keep telling us. Like,
Yeah.
if we need some makeup, we can find you. Well, anyhow, yeah, a dear friend of mine reached out to me and said, Jen, I know you've gotten into voiceover. And she said, do you do telephone messaging? And I said, sure, yeah. And she said, okay, well, I'm going to connect you with the person
When
at the
but when
company.
she said that, did you do telephone messaging at the time?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. No, no. Tell the truth because this is
No,
important. Say
that'd been my
yes.
first.
It's like
Yeah,
improv.
that had been.
Say yes.
Yep, that had been and it was my first gig, but she for voiceover, excuse me, for telephony. But she goes, okay. She goes, I'm going to connect you, and it turned out to be the phone messaging for one of the top international high end hotel chains called Rosewood Hotel Group. They are amazing. And the woman I connected with, she said, here's what we've got. What would you charge? I gave her a big number. She said, okay. And said, send it to me when you're done. We need it in a ULaw file. And that was it. And so I was like, so
And
then of
you
course
you
I told everybody.
you did enough research. You knew what a youth law file was.
I did, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I'm a nerd. I want to know all the stuff. I
Okay.
want to know everything.
I don't know what a U law file is. Tell me.
So it is when you compress the sound. You sound like you're in the jungles of Vietnam by the time you're done. It's like, and you can't hear it. It's terrible. But however the magic system works when they upload it to their phone software, it just sounds excellent.
Well,
So
there you
it's a
go.
thing.
There you
Yep.
go.
But I had to get Audacity to do it. I use Twisted Wave traditionally, but I had to get Audacity in order
So you
to
had to
do
get the
that.
free. You had to get the free thing because the thing you paid for.
Exactly. 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 You figure it out.
Yeah. So now you say you jumped in. You hadn't taken any lessons. When did you start taking lessons, and who did you work with?
So starting out, and I'm a big advocate for this for everybody. I got into some group workshops because, man, what a chance! Not only is it cost effective, but you get to learn from everyone else. And I say their mistakes, but they're critiqued on how
Their
they're
challenges.
Sure, let's go with that. They're challenges. And so Mark Cashman was one of the first ones I hopped in on. I've been in an Anganguza. I've been with Lori Allen and Susan Paleo with Voice Tracks West. So yeah, and then I coached with Mark Grau because then I was like, I got to get going on the animation thing because I've got the energy and I feel like it's a good place for me to be. So I started working with Mark Grau. I've met with uh, Donna, she's casting director and animation demo producer. Her name's escaping me. Someone will remember it. Through Gravy for the Brain. So yeah, I've just kind of hopped around, and again, just also again that relationship building. So I've just connected with some good coaches who are happy to shoot me a message, like, and even interviewing you. You've been so generous with your time coming on to VO Booth Besties and letting us interview. Even just those kinds of discussions, you learn something, you
Now,
take something away.
one other thing that impresses me about you, I'm going to talk about your demo in a little bit, but just what you're talking about now, which I think is such a wonderful part of the voiceover community, the number of people who are willing to help you. And yes, if somebody's taking lessons with me, they're paying me money.
Right.
But myself, a Lori Allen, so many of us, we go to the conventions and we talk to people. It's not just, oh, take my class, but we make ourselves available. And sometimes people, when you're talking about, oh, I'm so shy, I don't want to talk to people, I'm afraid. Uh, Thank goodness you're not, because I'm sure that that's such a big part of your success is your willingness to share yourself and your story and the things that you want to know, and then the things you learn with other people.
Absolutely. I think
So
that's just part of, yeah, you want to share. And that's the thing, like, I have a storied acting background, and again musical theater, but I again am new to voiceover, and never I'm always transparent about that, but it's I bring a unique perspective when I do meet people, because I've been like a boots to the ground for 2 years just hustling. And so I get to come at things from such a different place than someone maybe like you who has been around so much longer and is more established. So I
what
like to share that.
it's interesting when I'm doing workshops on video games, and we talk about casting, and people, oh, okay, yeah, and a lot of times, say somebody I've worked with, they mention, oh, I did an audition for such and such. I'll go, oh yeah, I got that audition too, and then, oh man, I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm not right for everything, and there's so many other things that go into casting. Sometimes I might get a part because, oh, it's Dave Fennoy. We know what he can do. He'll come in, he'll do it fast, it'll be great. And sometimes they're going to go, Dave, he's been on so many things. People know who he is. Let's find somebody new. And I want people to keep that in mind, that it's usually about so many more things other than the read you gave. Your read has to be good, but
Yep.
sometimes it's just, well, let's flip a coin. We like that person and that person, flip a coin, then we want that with that person. I got some questions for you and comments. Um, let's see. Terry Briscoe always has much to say. First thing, so much energy in the room. That's not really a question. Grace Newton, hello from Raleigh, North Carolina. And Terry again. Grace is in the play. Hey, listen, you guys and your personal comments between one another. I just
Yeah.
no, actually, I
It's
love it. I love it. And this, I'm sure, is for you. She has clothes on. She's gonna want to explain that. What's that all about?
This is a great story. Actually, it's not even a good story, but it's become kind of a VO branding thing for me. So actually, full circle, coming back to Lori Allen. I had done an advanced animation course with her. It was a group Zoom class, and I've got like a swimming pool, and it was at night. So I had just hopped in the pool before we got started. And you know, when you're wet, like trying to peel clothes on is annoying. So I had just grabbed a strapless sundress, and when I sit down, and not even thinking, and when I sit down to the Zoom call, all you saw was from here up. And Lori Allen goes, "Okay, so Naked Jen is going to do the first read tonight." And just the whole room exploded. And let me tell you, it's stuck. And whether it's the VO Atlantic conference, I wore a Naked Jen shirt, and it's just kind of a fun.
It has become a thing.
It's a thing. And so, yeah, that's so cute. Thanks for bringing it up, Grace. That was sweet.
Well, let's jump back here. Terry Briscoe has an actual question this time.
Okay.
Jen, how do you control all that energy when you have to do a role that is more subdued?
You know, that's an excellent question. And I'll be honest, and Dave, I think you'll agree with this. I mean, you need to become the character. And this is Jen. This is Jen Greenfield, high energy nuclear generator somewhere located in my body. But yeah, I really feel like I can get to a place when I walk into the studio where I'm prepared for the script. And yeah, I can take a deep breath and really try to embody the character. I did a role not long ago, and it was emotional. It was to talk about losing my job. And I think as you continue acting and growing and challenging yourself and learning from other coaches, you just learn ways to calm down and find that character. So
Great answer. Being an actor, a voice actor, any kind of actor is being a human being. Well,
for sure.
that's where we're starting. And yes, there's a wide range of human beings, and video games sometimes we're playing things that are human beings, but it's all based on the center of the human experience. And sometimes, I imagine, when you've been up for many hours and you're really tired, that some of that energy is not there.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree.
Oh, and Terry always has a bunch of questions. Would you
Good.
change anything in your VO experience so far?
For me, the answer is no. It has been a fantastic journey. And the reason I say that is because, again, I jumped in feet first. Uh, I had done my research, so I felt somewhat prepared. You can call it confident. But because of the coaching path I took, and as I, continued going to conferences and starting to network and meeting people, everything is, I mean, I am literally on Ask Dave Fennoy anything right now, and I can't imagine being in a better place. So my
Oh,
journey is just really, I know, I mean it. But I'm sitting in Lori Allen's guest room. So guys, so yeah, so would I change anything? No. I think to this point, coming to the table with my own experience, my own acting background, being a singer, not, like you, Dave, I've really been able to just take so much life experience and bring it to the table and then use my entrepreneurial part of my life to find jobs. So the coaching, the training, the sales, the networking, it's all brought me to a great place. So I feel really good.
and there's a little bit of listen, you can do it too, in what you're saying there to everybody.
Yep.
Umberto Franco. Jen is amazing. Got to meet her
Hello.
this month at WovoCon, and Jen's energy is such a boost. I've learned a lot from her session at WovoCon, which leads me into the next thing I want to talk to you about. 2 years in, you are coaching people on how to network, how to handle their business. What are some of the things you teach when you're doing a workshop or presentation?
Great question. And Dave, I'll say the first thing is what you said earlier to all my introvert friends. You got to start talking to people. That is one of the first things I share is if you are in a place where you're like, but I'm an introvert and I like to be in my closet, then my response is then act like an extrovert. take on take on that character, people. Like we got to get out there. But just very quickly, I'll tell three very quick stories that I like to share. So VO Atlanta. The first year I'm there, it was bananas, right? And they're totally short staffed. Two friends of mine, Mike and John, we go to dinner in the hotel. There was like an hour wait. And as I'm chit chatting with
Been there,
the
done that.
I know, right? So as I'm chatting with the gentleman who's seating people, he was like, "So this is a voiceover conference?" And I said, "Yeah." To which he said, "Do you do telephony?" And I said, "A matter of fact, I just did Rosewood Hotel Suite group." And he goes, "Oh." He goes, "Well, do you have a card?" He said, "I actually am the director of marketing for Hilton. I'm just filling in because we're short staffed." And if there were a Guinness record for pulling out a business card in that moment, I would have gotten it. So my second story, real quickly, is fast forward to One Voice in Dallas. One morning, I was sitting by myself at breakfast, and I don't really know why, but I will make a point to do it always. And a gentleman across from me was in a suit. He needed butter or jelly or something that I had on my table, so I gave it to him, and he saw the lanyard. "So what are you here for?" I said, "Voiceover conference." He's like, "Voiceover." He said, "Do you do animation?" And I said, "Well, I'm hoping to at the time." And he said, "Yeah, my son was a STEM kid all through high school." And he said when he graduated, he decided at the last minute that he wanted to go to film and animation school. And he's like, his mom and I just were like, "Oh my gosh." And I said, "Well, animation is pretty lucrative right now." And he said, "That's what I'm learning." And I said, "So where is your son?" And he said he graduated. He went to New York and graduated from one of the film schools. And I said, "Well, so where's your son now?" And he said, "Oh, he's in Burbank and works for Nickelodeon." Here, here's here's
Here's my card.
here's
Get
my
me in touch
card.
with your son.
So here's the deal. So when we're talking about networking specifically, guess what I'm going to say? Be present, get off your phone, say hi to people. And often you don't even need to say more than that. Often it can be hi, and the other person will, if you said hi to me, I'll suddenly tell you my whole life story. But it's really about I tell people, like, with leads, generating leads and networking, look at your local businesses. I'm not saying you're going to make, $500,000 trying to help local businesses, but guess what? They all have social media. There is not a small business today that can survive without social media. And we know that videos with voice, right, get more engagement than just a photo. So offering your services, certainly at a place you already shop, or your dentist, they're usually privately owned. So you're paying them. Hey, there's no reason, you
Oh, while
shouldn't
you're
be able to
sitting
do
in
it.
there, oh, you know, I
Yeah.
do. Here's your
Here's my card.
card.
Did I mention have business cards? Please have business cards all the time. Anyway, so I also do a webinar on LinkedIn. There's many other folks in the VO community who are advocates for LinkedIn training, and it's just one more way that you can work kind of on the business side of connecting with
There
folks.
are LinkedIn people listening or watching right now. I'm not. They can't. I don't think click in
Oh,
here. I should pull up my phone and look at my LinkedIn. Da, 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 and see what notifications I'm getting. Oh yeah, there's Angelo Miller, Michael Sessoms, a few people. I'm not seeing the questions, but a few. Let's see, what are they saying?
yeah. What are they saying? No, no, no. Don't don't tell me.
Anyway, let me get back from just. But hello, everybody on LinkedIn. Hello, everybody on YouTube. Hello, everybody on Twitter. And of
Yes.
course, hello everybody on Facebook, where we started. Um, Grace Newton has something she wants to know. Of all the hats we voice actors wear, which is the most challenging for you?
Hmm. Hats that voice actors wear. I'm not sure how to answer that. Let me think. So one of the things that I have done, because again, I like to be somebody who's well-rounded. I'm a person who advocates for don't wait for the work, make the work, right? Find opportunities. And so one of the things that I have taught myself, but again, as a hat, not a master, but learning how to do music beds. I have fully produced and starred in uh, two commercials that I pitched to Home Depot. I did well, I had my husband help do the filming. I did the music, I did the script, I did the voiceover. I created the whole thing. I think there is something to be said for, again, having the many hats. And yeah, and kind of being able to pitch yourself in more ways than just voiceover, because anymore, it is competitive. Not everyone is your competitor, but it is a competitive industry. And I like to be able to just do more,
Yeah.
do more.
Well,
So it's hard.
it's a do-it-yourself world these days.
Yeah.
I remember back a quote. Um, oh, who's the filmmaker? Godfather.
Oh, not who did Godfather? Not
The
Scorsese. Who did
Yes,
Godfather?
Scorsese.
Is it Scorsese?
When we started getting inexpensive video cameras, what he said was something to the effect that uh, the technology becoming cheaper and cameras being put in the hands of everybody is going to democratize entertainment. That
Yep.
we are going to be seeing the points of view from people who never would have shared their points of view if not for the availability of inexpensive ways to film themselves, document
Yep.
themselves. And that is exactly what we're seeing. I'm not sure it's showing up in the form that he had in mind with
Right.
TikTok videos and that kind of thing. But that is exactly what is happening now. But I want to get to another thing. I went to your website and I listened to your commercial demo, and you really do have uh, just a regular person read. Now, did you start with that, or how did you develop that? Who helped you with that, or was that just you?
That was me. I'm not someone, and I joke about this because again, it's training, and I'm not diminishing my skills, but I'm not the Lori Allen where I can do this, where I naturally do the low chesty, inspirational. Like, you're not going to call me for the sleep app, right? So I'm going to be like, go to sleep, just close your eyes, yelling at you like your mom, a mom. But no, I really, those reads, those scripts were just Jen, like just all of them. And they
Yeah,
even
but
are
they weren't all
the same. Yeah,
up.
that's
You
right.
had some very calm ones, and I would like to disagree with you. I imagine you could do the Calm Sleep app. Uh,
Thank you.
but I'm talking about more than the energy was the realness, the just you-ness that so many people have problems with. It's one of the biggest things I work with people is getting them over the readiness, getting them over the
Yeah.
manufactured read, as opposed to a read that's touching people and coming from here and here.
That's a great point. And it's sort of been my double-edged sword, I'll be honest, because I have such a strong theater background and you have to memorize lines. I have a tendency to memorize scripts very quickly. And that can help, but it can also hurt because then once I have it in my head, then it's hard to break the punctuation or really make myself change it up. But one of the things, and I'm sure you coach to this, is when I go into the studio and I am again trying to decide who am I talking to. I know we hear that, we just beat that dead horse going, what is your intention, who are you
That horse
talking to?
isn't dead,
Well, you know
but
what I mean.
I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
we're trying
People
to
hear
get through to
sometimes
people.
sometimes people hear it so often they don't actually get it.
Yeah,
You
maybe
know,
that's it, maybe that's a good way to put it.
uh,
Yeah.
which is why I think sometimes as voiceover coaches, we're always looking for another way to say the same thing. It's
Yes.
why when I'm working with students, I'll say, hey, listen, I love that you're working with me for this. I think you should work with this person. And what you're going to find is we're all saying the same thing, but
Yep.
the language of it may be different. I couldn't hear it from that person. Oh, now I'm getting it.
It's
Uh,
the message versus the messenger.
yes.
There's, just, yeah, sometimes how you say something. And again, that's why we have so many different coaches, different business coaches, and, because, yeah, we're saying the same thing and we're supporting the same, we're all headed toward the same goal, but you're right. Sometimes we just say it maybe nuanced or just a little different, and then the light bulb goes off and people get it. But with the intention, with the who are you talking to, um, for me, that's what really allows me to go from this place of, hey, how you doing, to really being able to step it down and to be able to come down to that place and focus. It's probably where my script is. I can almost look over the top of it. Am I speaking to a person? Am I speaking to the room? And I'm just able to find that focus, that intention.
So, you mentioned something. It's seems like a little thing, but it's a big thing. My script is right here. Um, I find sometimes I see people working like
Yeah.
this and people working like this,
Yep.
both of which change your voice,
Mm-hmm.
and our bodies inform our voices. I'm always telling people, look, have that script right in front of you.
Yep.
If you're looking down, just a little bit, not not down here,
Yep.
because it messes with your chords. And make it as easy for yourself as possible. I see people trying to read off cell phones, and I'm like, stop. It takes brain power to see the words, focus on the words, know what the words are. And now you're spending too much brain power here instead of being this character talking to this other character.
And you're reading. Now you're reading
Now you're
because you're
reading.
like, wait, what does it say? And you're totally invested in this, and you're not looking back to that person right there who you're trying to share this really, and over here. And even as I do this, I don't know what it looks like on camera, but like I've got you about right here, but I can still see your face. I could still out of the corner of my eye even read some words, but I can look beyond it and find a person. I don't have to focus right here. And I think
Yeah.
that can make a difference maybe for folks.
The words are only there to remind you of what you're saying.
Yep. I love that.
Hey,
Excellent.
listen, we've got another half hour with Jen. If you have questions, comments, would love to hear from you. And let's say hello to Umberto one more time. If you were a multilingual voice actor like me, and that's probably more people from other countries than we Americans, how would you work around the
Sadly.
huge amount of potential contacts you would have available in three languages? Would you partner with some? Well, oh boy.
Oh, here, I'll read it down here. Okay, yeah.
Would you partner with someone that could help you, or would you spend half your day or more reaching out to all the potential contacts, clients? And when you are multilingual, and three languages, does that mean three times more work? And is it three times more networking, three times more agents? Good question, Umberto.
Excellent question. Before I answer, Umberto, I want to know if you've had any more ramen since we last met. We went out to dinner and he had ramen for the first time, but you know what the best part of it was, Dave? After he ate it, and he may have had the rest of mine, he said, I love ramen. And so then it just tickled me. It just tickled me to death. I'm getting a shirt that says
I
I love
love
ramen
Raymond.
with a bowl
Raymond
of
is
ramen on it.
Raymond is delicious.
It's good. Okay, so I think this is an interesting question, and I think you kind of validated where I was going to go, Dave, by asking, yeah, I mean, awesome three language or multi languages, but you're right. Does that equal three times the amount of work? But for me, I just like a balance. Now, I have to say that is one of the things, because a lot of people know me from social media, and I also talk about how I use social media as well. And I really think you need to find a balance no matter what. That if you're spending an hour in the morning reaching out, doing some direct marketing, give yourself some time to do either audition or other projects, already scheduled, and then maybe circle back. Because what'll happen too is you're just going to burn out. I don't have to tell you that. When you're focused so much on one thing, you're just going to be like, ugh. And then if you don't see immediate results, right? If they're not emailing you back or they're not making the LinkedIn connection, all of a sudden that can kind of weigh down on you. So I like the balance.
Yeah, I want you to speak to something you just mentioned. They're not emailing you back. What is your math? I have a particular math that I see on people getting back to you, but what is your math on how many notes you send out and how many responses you get back?
So for emails, it's hit or miss. I don't have math on emails, but I'm really active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I am usually making at least, I try to connect with about 10 people, 5 to 10. I'll say 5 to 10 to be fair. 5 to 10 people each day. And I would say at least 80% connect or message me back and we engage in a conversation. I have very good luck
Yeah.
on LinkedIn. And
I
share,
probably don't reach out as much on LinkedIn as people reach back to me or reach out to me.
Right.
But typically they're reaching for the wrong things. I'm always amazed at the messages I get from people that
Yeah.
they think I'm a game developer or God knows
Same.
what. And
Same.
I will take the time to write them back. Well, yeah, this is not what I
Yeah.
do. I am a voice actor in games, not a developer of
Yeah.
games, and other missed messages, which I think is annoying. When I tell my
It is.
students, if you're going to reach out, find out who the people are and what they do and how you would interact, as opposed to just blindly
Well,
connecting with people.
that's one of the things that I spoke about at WovoCon in Orlando. Is one of the reasons we all hate sales. We don't like to be hit over the head, and so often the reason we hate it is one, it's something maybe like in your case, we didn't ask for it. They didn't do the research. Is this a pain point? Are you solving a problem for me that I even have? Solar panel guy who comes by my house every single week, God bless them, that they're working on commission, but I'm like, I literally, if you've done your research, just what you were saying, do your research. Our neighborhood in particular, we're not suited for solar panels. Like, give it up, dude. So
Yeah.
you do start to
And
rub
in
people the
so
wrong
many
way.
states now, there's a government program. They'll put them on for free. I know. I got them.
We're helping you out. Is this a pitch for solar
By the way,
panels?
somebody who lives in the house where you're staying had a message here. Lori, take breaks. It's the new sexy.
I need to hire you, Jen. Union and non-union have a different relationship. Yeah, that's fair. But anyway, so do your research. Know who you're reaching out to. There's one message that is, I just truly want to get to know you, like find out more about you. There's another message that is Look what I have to put up.
Oh wait, there's 3 dogs you have to put up with
And
too.
we've got
Hi, Finn.
Oh,
Hi,
that's
Finn. Miss Kiss.
that's a
zoo
dog and
here.
pony show.
Save me, Dave. Save me.
I will get out of your interview. I just wanted to pop in and
Thanks
say
for
hello.
popping in.
Lori,
So,
love you.
I love you, Dave.
You're doing great.
Would you agree though about union, non-union? For me, in my personal opinion, I think for whatever the hell it's worth,
Jump in.
I think it's very interesting about like on LinkedIn. But it's a great way to, like you said, Dave, to know exactly who they are and what they do before you just blindly reach out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're like, who the hell are you? And it's the wrong connection. And then
Yeah.
it just looks like you're just blind soliciting.
Yeah.
So we already have, if we have union reps, it should be something like, I know you're doing this project or whatever. Like if it's a casting director, otherwise I feel like it's wasted time. So I always say go for the low hanging fruit.
You're
first.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know what
Be
Finn
very
thinks.
specific and focused. correctly on the thing that you're looking for, as opposed to, oh, this person popped up as maybe somebody I should know. Let me send them my spiel.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what is your message? What is your intention? Is it, I just want to get to know you? Is it, I mean, that's how I've become friends with Scott McCarthy, who's one of the VP at DreamWorks. I mean,
Wait,
we
wait, wait.
literally.
That was Lori Allen, ladies and gentlemen, and her dog.
Oh, hang
Ah,
on. She has to show you one more of her babies. Hold on.
Hi, Uncle Dave. It's me, Bumble.
oh,
It's me,
hello,
Bumble. And you know what I
hello.
do is I take I know you love doggies too, but I take the doggies in the booth with me and sometimes I read to them.
Oh,
Talk about
one of
having somebody
one of
specific
my
to have.
dogs likes to come in the booth with me.
Mm-hmm.
And
He
as long
does.
as he's in the booth, he'll be very quiet. But once they're out of the booth, they have no problem barking at pedestrians, dogs, sounds. And then it's like, you're killing me, dogs. You're killing me.
I know.
Exactly.
That's why you bring them in. Ooh, thank God they're getting a bath tomorrow.
Anyway, to your point, having your message be what is your intention. So like I said, Scott McCarthy, who's one of the VPs at DreamWorks, and I don't like name drop like it's a brag, but it was literally, we commented on a post about it was about AI, but for the animation part anyway. But he hopped into my DMs, was like, I would love to talk to you about this on a Zoom call, and in a way it went. But there's other messaging that is, I've done my research and I'd like you to consider me for your roster, or like figure out what your intention is. But again, like people are saying in here, do your research,
Yeah,
because it's very off-putting to just
yeah,
throw
yeah.
yourself onto people.
Hi, I can get, use me. I can do something for you.
Yeah,
I don't know what you
you didn't
need, but
ask for it.
I've got
Yeah,
something for you. Let's
exactly.
let's see. Shelly says, how long do you wait to connect again after the first email? That's a good question.
Well, okay, so on LinkedIn, oftentimes I will, if I've already done my research specifically for LinkedIn, I will reach out and offer, if I feel like it's a good match, a good intention, and I have a message for them, I'll just connect with them. Now they may not answer back, but that's just not happened to me. Dave, I think we're in a place right now, certainly post-pandemic, people want to connect. I tell people this all the time. We want human interaction, but it has to be from a place of genuine, again, connection, not a minute later you're like, oh yeah, by the way, here's my demo. Like I think people just real and so I have not ever had an ugly reply like, why did you message me? Well, again, because I'm intentional about it. As far as emails go, I usually, if I do direct marketing, if I hear back one way or another, then I can make a note right in my CRM, be like, okay, either they're not interested or not interested right now. If I hear nothing, I don't know, maybe a month, I give it 4 weeks and just be like, hey, just wanted to do a touch point and just see if, anything had changed, since my last email. And then if it's crickets, guys, let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I'm a great believer in reach out, give them some time, and find out a little bit about the person that you're reaching out to, so you're not reaching out in vain because there's
Yeah.
not a connection there. Um, and if you know a little bit about them, maybe they have kids or they're married or their mom is ill or something, say something nice. Don't try to become their best friend, but know what they're about. And if it's, say I was getting in touch with a game developer, I'd want to know some of the games they developed, some of the ones that were successful, some of the characters
What?
so I can say, hey, congratulations on such and such, whatever it is.
Yep.
This is connecting with people. If you're just, hi, hire me. No.
Just doesn't work.
Terry Briscoe, again, I got my first person that reached out to me to hire them for voice acting work last week, so I guess I'm leveling up. There you go. And
Congratulations.
congratulations. I've heard some of your stuff, Terry. You should be working. Let's see. Oh, good friend of mine, Chris Anthony. What's going on? Well, my cat likes to sit in front of me when I record. This is the whole animal thing. Oh, that
Okay.
was fun. While his tail wags in my face, ha ha. And you know, this is that kind of show where if you have your dogs on, it fits right in.
Just
It's
go.
okay. So now you're working on who'd you work with on animation? Was it Lori? I know you're
So
doing your
I've worked
demo
with,
with her.
yep. So I've worked with Mark Grau and I've also worked with Lori Allen. So just have learned, I mean, I say two different approaches, but it really is two different approaches, but both applicable.
Yeah.
Both I was able to really garner some great information.
What would you say
Um,
the thing that Mark Grau said to you that has stuck and will always remain with you?
what, oh, gosh, yeah, we met for over a month. I'm trying to remember. His big thing is just like get loose and just go. Like just give yourself the freedom to just get into the voice and to hear that man transition through 10 different voices consecutively without, I mean, virtually taking a breath. And you're just like, okay, but you can't get to that place unless you absolutely let go. And that goes back to the reading and being, encapsulated and not just go for it.
Yeah. And what would you say the thing that Lori Allen has said to you that has stuck?
Her big thing is because she is, this is where she and I relate because she has the energy and she'll go over the top. And so what she's done for me is helped me bring it down, so because she goes, I know you can do the over the top. I know you can do the silly and the loud. And then, but she's helped me bring down and find those other characters, and she's also real good on, again, intention. And her big thing is, finding the voice of the character,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
again, because it's not just here the whole time, right? When
Oh
this, I don't have
no.
to tell
And I find sometimes people are so connected to this voice that they want to get that the nuance leaves.
you. Exactly.
And I've seen people do that with accents as well. They're worried so much about getting the accent right that the nuance of who the character is goes
Get
away. Got a
lost.
question
Yep.
here from Ali Tesker. Do you recommend multiple coaches in the same genre to get a good overview?
I always do. I say yes. Because
I
again, we said early on, you don't know who it'll resonate with. You may get that little thing and the light bulb goes off and it changes your performance entirely.
before I forget, I want to talk about your studio a little bit. So what's your setup?
I have the most beautiful closet you've ever seen. No, it's it's our main closet. I don't know if you know this about me, Dave, but I actually do home renovations. I do woodworking and construction,
Oh well,
and
I
so
want you to
I
come right over. We're about to
yeah.
remodel and
Oh, are you? Oh my
yeah.
gosh, yeah. This is our third house that we've renovated, and I love it. But I just, again, I have a knack. If it's creative, I pretty much do it. But anyway,
Can you
no. So
redo a
I built.
kitchen and add a bathroom?
Yes, just we'll talk. We'll talk later. No, so I built it out. So I was in an interesting we were in an interesting place because we hadn't put sheetrock on the inside of this one wall in the closet. And when I was like, yep, we're gonna convert this and it'll be my main studio, went and got all the insulation, did everything. And so I really got to set that up. And then I built out all the panels. So I just went and got 1x4s and then filled it with the rock wool, covered it. And so I even have the, what do they call them? The sky cloud panels. So I got those hung. So yeah, so it's just fully decked out. And yeah, I
Okay,
like
well
it. But
that.
interesting.
What size is it? What size booth is it?
Oh my gosh, I bet it's probably 5 to 6 feet by 8,
Oh,
but it's a
that's a good.
walk-in closet. Yeah.
That's a very. I love that. A lot of times, especially if you're getting whisper room or studio bricks or something,
Yep.
they're very expensive. So people get 3.5 by 3.5 or the 4 by 4, and I always feel like I would be claustrophobic in there. So that's nice. So what's your microphone? This first microphone that you got, or are you still using that first microphone that got you your first gig
I
after
am. It's
that long in the
I
business?
am SC 2200. It's so
Oh, that's
it's
one.
the
That's one that people are sleeping on. I have one of those, and I used one of those years ago all the time. An SE 2200A
because it's the same
U87 knockoff.
mechanics of the U87.
The knockoff of the
Exactly.
U87, but it's
Yep.
much more forgiving.
Yeah, I
That's a
love it.
great. Not a lot of people know about that, Mike, and it is cost effective, shall we say, reasonably
I want
priced.
to say it was three. Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
around
yeah,
300. I don't. It wasn't. Didn't blow the bank, but I mean, I had George Whittam. We had him on, and we talked about it. And I told him, he goes, yeah, yeah. He goes, if it sounds great, your space is great. I mean, he's like, keep
yeah,
doing what you're doing. So
yeah.
it's working for me. But
Okay.
the interesting thing I
And
was
what?
going to
And
say
now,
about the
what's your
okay.
what's your DAW and what's your? I think you had mentioned Twisted Wave
I
and
use Twisted Wave. I've got Audacity as well. And then I did the Scarlett Focusrite 212, whatever, kind of the standard.
yeah.
And then I've since switched to the SSL 2 Plus, SSL Plus 2. Anyway,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
it's kind of the step up from that.
Yeah.
So
Not the most expensive equipment, but it works.
yeah.
I
And
remember
I can use it.
you
It's
can
not
use it.
complex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Let's see. Janet Peters. So angry. I just came on, stuck with a version of my new rescue, a Great Pyrenees. Oh, that sounds great, Janet. By the way, Janet, gives me the perfect time to say this lives on my YouTube channel and will be there after the fact. So you can watch after the fact at Dave Fennoy voiceover training on YouTube. But wait, there's more. I need a huge, beautiful doghouse. I mean, stunning. Now, this isn't the kind of advice I give, but thank God Booth is good. So far, so good. Wonderful to meet you via virtually. Hey, Dave. Yeah, you just never know. And Lori Allen, I don't know that this is her final comment of the evening, but I record for SpongeBob out of my closet. It's such a different world now than the world I started voiceover in. You went to your agents to audition. You went to studios, somebody else's studios to work. And now I work out of my studio. I don't get out of the house that much. I'm a voiceover hermit in some ways. Love it when I...
Just thought Jen might need a quick moment of sustenance. This is a vegan
I'm being
snack.
served. I'm being
No, wait.
served
Did you bring
dips.
enough for everybody?
Yes, Mediterranean hummus, fullmess, creamy and smooth from Trader Joe's, and guacamole
Whoa,
and
whoa, whoa,
bean
whoa,
soup.
whoa.
So
The two of you get to eat. What about me? What about all the
you
viewers?
have the most amazing wife who is the most amazing cook, and I've had the pleasure of having her cook for me and drool. Oh my God,
She
she is
also
amazing.
she also brought me. I can't even. This is like a 13-inch
No
banana.
one needs
Like
to see that. Jen.
And suddenly it's dirty.
I can only get through half of it. Let's be real. Okay, Dave, keep going. Lori
Go ahead.
interrupted you, not me.
Let's see. Let me get back on track. Lori, don't go anywhere. Uh, Richelieu Hoff Jr., I love his name, by the way. A wonderful statement, Lori. Very sobering for a beginner to hear. And oh, geez, and here we go. Allie Tasker, where's the wine?
Hi,
Uh,
Allie.
Janet Peters,
Hi,
LOL, with
Allie. I
what a
love you, Allie.
hysterical interruption, LOL.
You got to have sustenance. That's the other thing. Can I just chime in and take over your interview?
No.
Dave, I know you would agree with this. Like I was just working with a client while Jen was being all fancy with you having your interview. We were talking about what time of day feels good for you to record. Like she's a total morning person. And I'm like, good for you, because I'm still asleep, but I won't even say it.
Yeah.
I've always been like that. Later to bed, later to rise. Like, what time do you like to record? What time are you good on the computer? We all know that sending out stuff
Yep.
You know, sending out stuff on a Tuesday is always a good day. But like my voice sounds more relaxed and I have more of that real read later in the afternoon or in the evening.
Yeah.
So that's just something that I always tell people is like, know your voice, know what time of day you still feel alert. You know, but for me, you and I come from old school radio backgrounds and promo backgrounds. And so for me to have that real read is just kind of better to kind of like do it at night
Yeah.
because it just helps me sound.
My voice is deeper and huskier first thing in the morning, but not necessarily in control at that
Yeah.
time of day.
Yeah.
I prefer after 10 and before 7.
Yes. Same. Same Z's.
Take note, everyone watching.
And also, like,
10 to 7.
there is no such thing as perfection. Like, oh, that was perfect. Like, you'll never be completely fully happy with, you'll be content with the read, but there's always 7 other thousand things you could do. So like, and so yeah, at some point you got to step the F out of the booth.
Hit
You
send.
know, a lot of
Hit
times,
send.
especially for very short things, I might do 5 or 6 takes
That's
in
it.
a row.
That's it.
And then I go back and listen to, and you'll love the first one, then you get to the second one and it's a little different. Oh, wow, now I don't love the first one quite as much because that second one had that other thing. And then the third one had that other thing that you didn't do in the first.
Overanalyzing.
And
always say
it's
one down,
overanalyzing,
send it
and
too.
you're never going to get it perfect, per se. So I always ask my students, if I'm doing a read for them, and what I'm saying to them is, I believe you. Did you believe the read? Did you believe the character? Was
That's
there
good.
truth in it?
And it's voice acting because that's why, like the girl that I just worked with, we actually, instead of doing a lesson, we did some of her auditions that she had. So I said, good, that now I understand why you have your, you know, you're plugged in. Sorry, I have hummus breath.
I know,
Hi,
I do
Jen.
too. Thanks.
There you go. But Dave just melted on this behind the screen. It's that bad. But I think that to be able to take your headphones off, if you can be brave enough to take your dang phones off so you don't hear yourself, you know, especially for animation, because then you're really talking to somebody. You have to improvise the other person's lines before yours and talk yourself in, or else who are you talking to? You're just listening to the sound of your voice, and am I getting it right? And as
Yep.
Charlie Adler, our friend, my mentor, would
Yeah.
say, there is no them, F them. Who is them? Who's this omnipotent them?
Yeah.
Have I enjoyed the process? Did I make some good choices?
I don't wear headphones unless absolutely necessary. If I've got clients on and I have to, then I will. But I spent too many years in radio. And when you've got the headphones on, oh, now, yes, my voice sounds.
Yes. Or
you want to get out of that. You want to get out of that.
Yeah. And then you're also like I had I'm fine now, or else I wouldn't be close to Jen. But I had a really bad cough, and so my vocal cords, to me, you can't hear it, but I can. They sound tired to me. So it's like I'm not about to sit and listen. And you also have to go with what the day is. What if you found out somebody is sick? What if you're like, oh shit, that was due yesterday? Or my dog just ran out the front door. Life is in full swing. So there's never anything that's perfect. Just do your best, make some good choices. There's that Bryan Cranston quote about not what can I get from this business? What can I give?
Yeah.
My job is to be interesting. My job is to make some interesting choices. My job is to be compelling, take some risks, serve the text, be a nice person, and get the hell out.
Yep.
Yeah. And be
You know?
real. Or real in the world that you're in.
Yeah, and have a life, or else you have nothing to draw on. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? And I speak to that too, because I'm going to circle this back to the networking thing, because when we talk about that, one of the things, and there's been an actor who commented on this very thing, is be current on what's going on, and not necessarily just politics, but maybe it's fashion, maybe it's books, maybe it's popular movies. Again, you made a great point earlier, Dave, like don't reach out to the game people and then don't know any of their games, but it's an opportunity to share. You can easily comment on it. Like I gave an example. This gentleman, he had a treble clef on his shirt. And I'm like, observation opportunity. So I saw the treble clef, and my opportunity was, oh my gosh, are you a musician? That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, matter of fact. Mm-hmm.
And
so when you
people often are trying to tell you what they're into by the shirts they're wearing, by what's on their T-shirt. You know, what band, what saying.
Yep. So
Yeah.
using life, like what Lori said, that's not only 100% brings you, you bring that to your character and to your performance, but it also helps on the business side that when you have
Well,
some,
we're all human.
yeah, you travel,
So
you have
you're
life
saying
experience.
don't just be real on the microphone, be
Pardon
real
me. Hummus
in
crust.
real life.
Yep. Yep. It's very easy. Dave, you know this. And I've again, I am obviously an extrovert and I love to talk to people, but it can be very easy when somebody says, "Hey, do you want to meet for lunch?" to just go, "No, not really." Oh, it can be very easy to do that. But that's the other part of it is you got to get up. You got to get out and you've got to go interact with the world even if it seems scary or maybe you're just tired. But yeah, get up, get
I
out.
like one of the things you said today. If you're an introvert, act
Act.
like you're not. Act like an extrovert. Which goes
Best
along with
acting.
it, fake it till you make it. The story we tell ourselves is important. And I would say, in another way, stop telling yourself that you are an introvert.
Yeah.
Change the message that you give yourself, and you'll change yourself.
Yeah, the more you keep saying it, you're right. How many times and it's just like telling yourself even from an acting perspective, oh, I couldn't, and I have two friends. My friend Alicia, who's one of the VO Booth besties, she was like, I don't do characters. I don't do, but then she went into a class and guess what?
She's
She
doing
did some
character.
You're
characters.
talking
So,
about not
so
being
she
a
was
jerk.
lying.
She was lying to herself. But no, but it is very easy for us to, we get under the rain cloud and we're like, dun, dun, dun.
But introverts can also rule the world.
They can. But
Introverts.
I'm
Go ahead.
talking
Well,
about what you keep telling yourself.
ladies, we have hit our 7 o'clock mark.
Wait, we're not
You're
done
in
yet.
overtime. I'm not paying you any more than I'm already paying you for this. Oh, and that's right. I'm not paying you anything. So,
Oh, this is wonderful, Dave.
oh, this has
You
been
are
Jen.
so
I'm going to tell
kind.
you something. I never know how it's going to go with these things. I don't do a lot of preparation other than find out some
Thank
things
you.
about you, and then ask you questions and see where it goes. I didn't know that you were going to be at Lori's, and I didn't know. Oh, here, let me change the camera here so we get Lori in there. Sorry, Lori, I don't have your name to pop in there like Jen's
That's
because I didn't
okay,
know you were going
Dave.
to be here. But
That's so.
I love you madly,
I love you.
and Lori Allen's one of my favorite people, and Jen, you're coming up on that list, kiddo.
Ah.
And let me just say this: your energy and your story should be an inspiration to everybody that's listening and everybody on this path. Um, you're not oh God, I'm worried about my what am I going to work? No, hey, how are you? Let's do this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it puts the people who might be willing to hire you at ease.
Yep.
And it puts
It
you at
makes the casting director looks good. I mean,
yes.
that's the thing. When you're at ease with yourself, you can be a wild introvert or extrovert. It doesn't matter because introverts really rule the world, even though I'm an extrovert. But you make the casting director look good, you make the client look good. You're in a session, you're very directable that way. The minute I have this one client whom I adore, and she's so talented, she always goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." So you've got to take a rubber band and snap that goddamn wrist of yours. It's always, "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, "You got to break that habit."
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
when Jen sees when you apologize and they go, "Oh no, you're fine. You're fine." I know I'm fine. But I can't. It's just a genuine, "Oh, my pleasure," or "I'm so sorry about that." But watch how you're responding to people. Just be a good person. Just don't be an asshole. That's really good
Yeah.
advice too. Love you,
That
Dave.
yeah. Well, anyway, gotta let you go. The hour's
I
up,
know.
Jen.
Thank you,
Bravo.
Dave.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Jen Greenfield, Miss Energy, naked actor, all those other things.
Just
Uh,
go with it.
let's go with it. And I hope you guys, I know you're going to do great on this demo you're doing with Lori on your
Thank you.
animation
I'm
demo.
excited.
So enjoy and maybe see you on Friday at Tim's.
You bet.
There you go.
Well,
Now I
thanks
reckon,
again, Dave.
what's happening? Who's Tim? Where's Tim? Who's Tim?
Yeah.
Anyway, I will say goodbye, and let me just say to everybody that was with us this evening, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. This will live on my YouTube channel, Dave Fennoy Voiceover Training. If you are interested in voiceover lessons with me, DaveFennoy.com, click on the Study VO tab. Please follow me on Twitter. I got to get a whole new crowd of people because somebody stole my Twitter account. Dave Fennoy, at Dave Fennoy VO. So all that said, let me say this. Go out and book something. See ya.